The Pacers' offense is one of the best of all time. Yet at the same time, their highest score this year was at 20 points per game. Everyone counted them out. They run a new, unique, and chaotic style of basketball, but it works, and it's beautiful at the same time. And these guys got to the finals just by knowing how to play basketball. So if you can learn how to do this as well, it'll change your career. And in fact, I bet any guys that leave this Pacers team will be even better on their next team because of this, which speaks volumes. So if you're a player, understanding this type of offense will help you play smarter hoops and be a significantly more valuable player. If you're a coach, you can learn a ton from this as well, of course. And if you're just a fan, this may be the most fun offense for you to watch and study. So let's dive into it. So first off, you'll notice that they run a very conceptual offense, meaning that not much is pre-planned. It's not a bunch of set plays, but rather based on concepts or guidelines, many of which we'll talk about in this video. This allows them to be artists and not robots. Some of these actions, of course, are unconventional and even accidental. That's what makes it so hard to guard. It's unpredictable, and it's all based off what the right read is, not what the play is. Now, this isn't to say that it's completely random. It's a very trigger-heavy offense, which means they use a ton of two-man actions to create advantages. So when the defense is set like this, they'll often look to get them out of position with triggers like one, a ghost screen, which is one of their most common, especially from guard to guard, and it's super tough to guard the chaos that comes with this, whether they hit the ghoster or use this chaos to score a drive. They also use a bunch of unique ball screen variations. They use flares and nicely timed blindside ball screens like this, as well as intentful dribble handoffs and get actions. Then most of their pre-scripted, I guess we could call plays, are very creative three-man actions, which at our club, Adapt Academy, we call starts. Because they're not really plays, and many times they're not even planned, but just kind of self-organized. But they're ways to start the offense, to create an advantage, and to get a ton of different options. So this could be a Spain screen, or in the Pacers case, a bunch of different variations, like faking this back screen and slipping. Maybe pinning this defender. This could be a zoom.
Turner on top. Blocking shots, taking threes. Halliburton off to Turner. This is Overtown. Indiana 4-6.
This could be all these various double drag alternatives, which I love, like Tyrese throwing it to the second guy and getting a screen into the get. And then even stringing together different combos of flares, ghosts, and other triggers. Then from there, after they get the defense out of position, they play super well with an advantage. So think of this like a chain reaction. Defense is set at first, but boom, ball screen creates an advantage. So on the short roll, Hart has to step over, which means Cat's playing between two, so a look off sends him here. And when he kicks it, it's a super long closeout to a three. Or here, boom, advantage achieved. So this tag steps over, making for a nice skip pass. Brunson's got to leave his, so he swings it, which means OG has to close out like crazy for an easy blow by, and now he's at the line. And even on a play like this, they create the advantage off the ball with the flare, so by the time he catches it, there's space here, and when he gets into a DHO, it's easier to get into this keeper. So at the core of it, offense revolves around creating a quick advantage, and then maintaining this and building on it until you get a good shot. And the Pacers do this incredibly well.
No, they can't hit. Here comes TJ McConnell. Invaluable off the bench, made a fake and goes right to the...
Even if this advantage comes from a chaotic play that they handle well. But of course, this spacing can make or break everything here. And they have really nice concepts they follow. They're constantly doing what I call pulling the string, or imagining that there's a rope between you and this defender and trying to stretch that as far as possible. Because of this, it's harder to play in between two. So this defender can only choose one, in this case, leaving Tyrese open. Secondly, on ghost screens or pops, they clear out very well, once again creating a more exaggerated 2v1. They're also fantastic at getting weak side motion going, like a flare screen here, to occupy the help defense, distract them a little bit, and ensure that those advantages are easier to capitalize on. And they overall just create empty sides of the court very well and are clearly very conscious about creating a big gap here by bringing these defenders over, even if it's overloading one side of the court to gravitate all these defenders over, swinging it back to the other side and sealing the help defenders trying to get back over. Genius. Then with this elite spacing, cutting becomes much easier since defenders have more space to cover.
Will try to gouge his way. Here's a pass. Hands to McConnell.
And you'll even see them space out before cutting like Mathurin here to create distance and to not be close to his teammates. And then he cuts from there. They do sacrifice cuts very well too. In other words, making super hard cuts to gravitate these defenders over, leaving a kick out behind them, which creates an open shot or a long closeout after that defense collapses. So even if you don't get the ball in this cut, you can earn points for your team. And then similarly, you'll see them screening these kickouts as soon as they see an open teammate. And this unselfishly turns a closeout into a wide open three. And you do not see this done very often for whatever reason. Another super unique tactic is how often they look to create their advantage early, because by now, when they're here, super early into the shot clock, the defense isn't set yet. And they get into much of their stuff right as they come across half court in this area, the middle third, where they use a ton of high drag screens with Tyrese who can pull up and Miles who can stop here for the three. You have to respect this and play up, which opens up all this space to operate and gain speed into the teeth of the defense. And even if they don't get a bucket, they get the defense scrambling.
With the ball. On top, Siakam, the fake, the feed, Nimard, and Siakam.
They'll also look to get this early seal as the defense isn't really back and ready to prevent that yet.
We talked about the move to Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup, but to me, the more impactful move.
2 to play in the first quarter.
And even off ball, they get stuff going right away, like this flare to a slip, since right now, no defender is fully locked in. Then lastly, in the half court, notice how many audibles they make. It's truly controlled chaos, and you can see that in plays like this. So right here, they don't really have a set play. So Obi goes to give a handoff. Doesn't really make sense to give that one. So he attacks downhill. Naismith clears out to create a double gap. And then Siakam finds this gap. This one's great too, right? They're trying to find Miles on the seal. Obi can't get it there either, so he quickly gets it back and pitches it up court. He then cuts through to space out for Miles, but Tyrese sees an opening. Obi continues to clear out, and they find a nice shot. Here, it looks like they're going for a flare screen, but they don't. Naismith looks like he's going to go ghost this, but he stops instead. Siakam realizes this. They look to get into a little give and go, but Naismith reads this play and goes. So again, all of these are unplanned. They're chaotic. They're not drawn out on a clipboard. But because of this, they're so hard to guard because they're instinctual. And this comes from players playing together a ton and understanding concepts of the game.
10 games. As the Knicks beat the reigning champions in 6. 3.
Now let's talk full court, the transition game, which is crazy. And a lot of this starts with defense. The more turnovers you can get, the more you can get easy buckets, period. And with a super aggressive defensive backcourt, this sets the tone.
Here comes Toppin. There's some good things happen. Bridges tried to drive. Ball knocked away. Loose and picked up Nimmo.
Same thing with long rebounds, which they see as a collective signal to go, and usually come from bad shots being forced. Which leads me to smart leakouts. They're always looking for times where they don't really have anything to add to the rebounding effort. First, making sure that their man isn't going, but if he's not, they're out. And then as soon as that ball is 90% sure going to be in their team's possession, again, they're flying down the court. And it's a pretty fruitful risk to take, and you can see how many easy buckets they get from quickly realizing this and getting down the court. But the crazy part here is that they score off of made shots too. They're never in their feelings after they get scored on. They're taking it straight out of bounds, using these advanced passes up the court to beat the defense. And it's really a cheat code that will be there over the course of long games at every level. You just need to have somebody who's ready to take it out quick, somebody to receive it slightly up court, and then someone 2 passes up who's positioning themselves and getting momentum to the rim. And when they don't get a wide open one, you'll see them often take this form of a line, kind of 4 players across, and they're literally charging at this disadvantaged defense, usually 4-on-3 or 4-on-2. And this forces the defenders to choose one, and whichever one they don't go towards, well, there's your pass. You also notice that they fill corners super well, which is vital to completely stretch the defense who's trying to stop the ball from getting to the rim. And as a result, we'll often leave these corners wide open. They sprint their ass off to get here, and you can see how much this expands the defense. So even if they don't get the shot, it opens up driving lanes for others. Then in terms of these advanced passes we talked about, it's incredible how often they get it going up the court, often zigzagging by flipping the court, which keeps this defender moving back and forth. And when you got guys doing this, there's no way to stop it. Sometimes these advanced passes won't lead to an easy bucket, but it will cause the defense to overcommit to the rim, which you can then look back and allows the trailer to be wide open for easy buckets.
Has done a good job of making sure that hasn't happened.
Defense got back there for the Knicks and Nimhard.
And this general concept is something we focus on a ton at Adapt Academy program-wide. Getting the ball up the court quick, even using games where we take away dribbles in the backcourt, maybe putting a 4-second time limit to cross half court. It's ugly and crazy at first, but soon they develop the feel, precision, and conditioning to do this, and I promise you guys, this is an underutilized way to win games. And lastly here, they just run harder. We usually don't consider offense to be about effort, but look at these guys. It's demoralizing to play against a team like this. And as soon as you get an easy bucket, within 3 or 4 seconds, they've matched it. That's hard to beat. And because they're so deep and play so fast, by the end of games, the other team's defensive execution is cooked, which amplifies this even more. So, of course, there's a lot more to this, but hopefully this is a nice look into one of the most impressive offenses we've ever seen. If you're interested in learning how to build players like this as a coach or a skills trainer, check out our coaches certification and course on ByAnyMeansCoaches.com. Enjoy the finals, and we'll see you guys soon.